they're not doing all the other things in life that they might otherwise be doing. So they've got an extraordinary amount of time to look at how do they take advantage here too. So really, if you look at what are the vectors of attack, the favorites really come down to email, attacks through the web, and attacks on human beings. And those three components, email, web, and people, really fit into the sweet spot of what our product offering brings together. With our solutions really helping customers to tackle those issues in a very easy to manage way, in a really a cost-effective way, and in an integrated way that creates a greater than the sum of the parts value and defense for customers.
What do you think in terms of your pricing model? So maybe I should reword that. How do you price for your solutions, and is there going to be an impact just from what's happening with furloughs and layoffs and unemployment in this environment?
Yeah, so let's talk to those in two parts. Perhaps Rafe will weigh in terms of how we think about the second part of your question. So our products are generally priced on a per user per year basis. So it's the employee count, and that obviously is multiplied by the number of modules or services that they've purchased within the platform. We do have certain of our offerings that aren't specifically denominated in employee count, particularly our new Zone 3 offerings, which are more solution priced based on volumes and things like that. So it's a slightly different dimension. And our contracts are generally renewed on an annual basis. So customers are in a contract cycle with us until the end of the year, and we see typically upward or downward adjustments on that annual renewal cycle. Our purchase prices are not. This isn't a big ticket item. I think our average order value sits between $11,000 and $12,000 per annum across our customer base of 38,000 customers. So in aggregate, it's not necessarily the first place that someone's going to go look to make sort of meaningful savings if they're under economic pressure. We do see ourselves as a cost-saving mechanism for customers, particularly because of the opportunity to consolidate services onto multiple platforms and get rid of what might have been expensive incumbents in some of those specific areas. Rick, do you want to talk a little bit to what we see or what our thinking is around the furloughs or?
Yeah, no, that absolutely. Like many people, anytime you're pricing on a per user basis, it's impacted by the broader economy and employment overall. What we would expect and what we've seen at other times as the economy has gone up and down, you do get some changes to contracts as they come up for renewal. But I think that's a key element of it. Clearly, if somebody's been furloughed or has furloughed part of their team, but they're expecting them back in a short period of time, that usually doesn't trigger any kind of big downshift. The challenge here for us as we go through this is companies might be downsizing for a longer period of time. We would expect that on their renewal, they would want to renew for a smaller number of users. And that would obviously not be, that would impact our overall downsell figures. But it will be somewhat spread out just by the very nature of it. I think in these earliest days of the crisis, that hasn't been the most common topic what we're hearing from customers. More often we're hearing for requests for perhaps they could go quarterly billing terms for a year until we get through this, things of that nature. So that's generally what we're seeing in the macroeconomy or in the macroeconomy's impact on our downsell and churn numbers so far.
But it's probably fair to say that, given the size of the budget that goes to your solutions, you're not seeing a significant number of customers coming to you mid-contract looking for renegotiation or some sort of flexibility on the contract terms.
That's correct. It would only be corner cases of some of these really heavily impacted groups that